if you're in competitive environments in your life, and let's face it, everyone is at some point, then do you know how to have the competitive advantage? Do you know how to be at your best? Give yourself the best chance every single time. Listen on, because we're going to talk about how you're going to make that happen every single time. I'm Ian Hawkins, and this is Sport is Life. The purpose of sport, as I see it, is to see your vision become a reality. Find your voice, create strong connections, and learn to trust your body. In life, you're going to need a competitive edge. Whether it's in your workplace, if you're in business, sport, you're going to need a competitive edge. You're going to need something that separates you from the other people. In work, corporate environment, or job, or anywhere where there is layers and you want to progress to the next level up, well, then there's not like everyone goes up together. There's only one person usually gets selected for the next level at a time. So you're in competition with the other people. If you're in business, you're competing with other similar businesses for people's attention, for people's business, for people's money. And sport's a given, right? There's a competitive nature. Even if you're trying to create a positive environment, there's also a competitive element, a desire to get a certain result. They're not mutually exclusive. You can have both of those things. You can have a positive environment and you can also be highly competitive. So what's going to give you the competitive edge? You've heard me bang on about this a lot, but you need to have a process. If you get caught in outcome focus, you'll get off track. You'll lose sight of what you should be doing. You'll stop being present. You'll be future projecting what might happen. You might be worried about what is about to happen next. You might be worried about what's happened just previously, playing a certain moment out again and again. But when you have process, you have clear focus. It allows you to take the emotion out, just come back to the process. And your unique process is going to be your competitive edge. Now, it's also important to know that sometimes when you're following the process, you're not going to necessarily see the results straight away. When I'm coaching someone in business, when it comes to marketing, and they're thinking, but I haven't got lots of likes or no one's engaging in my posts. It's because they're looking at the wrong metric for a start, but they're also caught in outcome, and usually the wrong outcome. If you stick to the process that you know works, then those other elements, like the likes, which is an element of positive reinforcement that comes from that, instead it allows you just to continue on, knowing that just because it didn't get visible engagement doesn't mean that people aren't looking. And it's the same with your own personal journey. Like sometimes you might not get people say to you, oh, wow, I can see that you've grown. I can see that you've changed. I can see that. They might not tell you that. One of the reasons is because generally that can shine light on, when you are getting better, that shine light on things that they know that they need to address. And they don't feel comfortable telling you about your own progress. We've also come to a point in the world where it seems like if we say something, there's a concern about whether other people will be offended by that. So people sometimes just say nothing rather than upset anyone. So you're not always going to get that feedback. You're not always going to hear the message that validates you on the right path. But if you come back to process, if you know the process, then you're going to give yourself the competitive edge. So how do you find your own unique process? You need to have a look at an area of your life where you know you already get success, an area that you're already doing well. And you need to look at the steps in that process and bring it back to how you can use generic terms to then be able to map that process across the board. Now, I have a training on this that I can happily give you. Just let me know and I'll send that to you. And it helps you to map out what your unique process is. And when you have your unique process, and then you can apply it to any different life situation, then you have your competitive advantage. You have the ability to know that you're always going to be prepared, that you are always going to be present, you're always going to be on track with giving yourself the best chance. And you're not going to be stuck in outcome focus, which you know is going to be a distraction and take you away from your best performance. Now, this doesn't guarantee that you are going to win or that you're going to get the next role or that there's going to be money rolling into your business account. But if the process is correct, then you will get those results in time. Because sometimes, depending on what stage you're up to and whatever you do, other people are better. Again, just a reality. Particularly if you keep leveling up. If you level up to another level, you're going to come across other people who've been doing it longer, or they've got more skills or more knowledge or whatever it is. Got to keep improving, sticking to your process. And maybe at some point, the process might need to be adapted, because as you grow, there might be certain things that don't need to be there anymore, or there might be new elements that need to be introduced for you to get to that next level. It's all about knowing yourself. And if you don't have that knowledge of who you are, what you're good at, what works for you, what doesn't, what are the important steps that you need to make sure you focus on each time, then you're already behind the game. My high school's motto, know thyself. Man, did not understand what that meant at the time. We used to make jokes about it being something about self-pleasure, pleasuring yourself or something like that, as teenage boys will do. But it's such an important message. It's an important message to know who you are, what you do well, what lights you up, and what gives you that competitive advantage. If you're interested in the training, let me know and I'll email it to you straight away. If you have any other questions, thoughts, or if you have a bit of competitive advantage already that you'd love to share, then let me know. And if you haven't already, jump into the Sport is Life movement. That link is always in the show notes, and you can jump in there and we can continue this conversation. Speak to you soon. You've taken the time to listen to this whole episode. Now it's time to take action. Commit to one thing you've learned today and make it happen. And to avoid any obstructions, join the Sport is Life movement by clicking on the link in the show notes.